on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if my cat doesn't try to make a guest appearance too. She'll jump up on here. All right, so I don't know how you, Gil. You're gonna lead this thing. I'm just here to
I'm leading this thing.
No, not you.
No.
Okay,
If you
good.
want, no, yeah, I'll go
we're
ahead.
gonna
I'll go
struggle
ahead
if
and
that's
read
going to
it.
be the case.
Let's see. Why is it not showing our display names? Oh, is that because I did that? Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay, Gil. So whenever you want to start, just yeah, go for it, dude.
All right, cool. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special episode of the Geek Out Show. We got a special interview episode. I got my co-host Matt here with me, as per usual.
Hey everyone, it's Major Reaction.
And our special guest today, we got Jason from Sperotoys.
How's it going, everyone?
Dude,
We don't know
for
because we
coming
can't
on.
hear you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, welcome.
We appreciate you coming on, like for reals.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun fact: my last name means welcome in French. So
I thought your last name sounded familiar. I didn't know why, but
yeah, we started doing those pack-ins with all the.
That was a great idea.
Thank you. I thought it would be a fun little thing to kind of let everyone know that hey, it's coming up.
So
just
Jason,
the difference
I have
in detail
mine
is
coming in. Oh, sorry,
What's
my
that?
bad, Matt. I have mine coming in. It's actually at my mother-in-law's house because it got delayed a little bit, but I don't get it delivered over to my house because they usually steal packages from around my neighborhood, and I didn't want that stolen. So I'll have it tonight, and I'll let you know what I think because I did want to have something of yours in hand to try out before this. Unfortunately, it didn't work out to my advantage, but Matt, he has his in hand, so he'll let me know what's going on with those.
So where are you guys out of?
We're both from California.
Both out of California. So, he's in like the Valley area, and I'm in the Bay area.
Okay, cool. Yeah, my parents used to live in San Diego, but
we're way north of that.
Listening. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. Anytime they watch TV or something, they'll call me and they're like, they're showing Balboa Park on the TV. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, so we're just kind of recovering from the winter storm. I mean, we're about 3 hours away from Houston, but we still had, 3 or 4 days of, 20 degrees weather. I mean, I was processing orders, but it was just not practical to get out on the road and actually, ship stuff. I probably could have made it to the post office, but considering like a lot of stuff has to go through Texas, I didn't want to risk it, getting lost in whatever the mayhem that's going on over there. So I'm guessing we just started shipping regularly again today. So I think by the end of next week, everything should be back on schedule as far as like processing orders and shipping goes.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, that was a wild storm. You braved it all right?
Yeah, I mean, we had 5 hurricanes this year, and then we had this crap, and it was like, I mean, like when we had the hurricanes, I think my 5th day into not having electricity, I was starting to get used to like falling asleep sweating. And this was just like a bitter cold. Like I remember, like, I mean, I live out in a rural area, so like we were like going out in the yard and like chopping up trees, and they had like just frozen ice all over them. And I was like, yeah, I'm over this. I'll take the hurricane again.
Jeez.
That's intense. So actually we had a couple brief questions to ask you before we get into anything pertaining to Kickstarter. Matt, anytime that we have a new guest or new anybody on the show, we do submit them to the geeky background check. So if you don't pass, unfortunately we're gonna have to kick you off and cut the episode short. Not really. But so our no, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
Nobody has ever failed. So it's just
not yet.
Questions. No, yeah, not yet. So it's just questions pertaining to the segments that we cover during our normal show, which is comics, collectibles, anime, video games, entertainment. So you don't have to be like well versed in everything, but it's just gives the viewers, the listeners, a little bit more insight on who you are, what why you are who you are, where you're at today, and just a little bit more about you. So growing up, what got you into, or how did you get to where you're at now? Was it like video games, collectibles, what exactly was it? Which one of the 5 segments do you think that it was that introduced you into like the world of geekdom at an early age?
It's funny you ask that because I was just talking to my dad the other day about it, talking about, we were talking about when I was growing up, how I really was just like fascinated with toys and action figures, and he liked to draw, and he was a pilot, a recreational pilot. So like we'd always get like all the GI Joe, planes and Star Wars starfighters and stuff like that. And around 3rd grade, one of my friends was like, "I don't like toys anymore." And I was like, I like toys. I'm not gonna like stop playing with toys. And I was talking to my dad about like, in high school, about a sophomore in high school, I was like, okay, I have to stop playing with toys and being interested in them because I'm growing up.
Because girls aren't gonna like me.
Right, exactly. Like that was an option anyway. But so like I want to say it was like the tail end of my junior year. Went to the comic shop because I was still collecting comics pretty frequently, and I saw this set of McFarlane toys called Total Chaos, and I was just like, man, screw this. I like toys. I'm interested in it. And like shortly after they came out with the Dark Ages, Dark Ages Spawn, and then Metal Gear Solid, and that game came out, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be nerdy. I'm gonna enjoy what I like and do what I like. And oh man, he holds that gun pretty. What's he holding? That's
a sword. Yeah,
the sword. Yeah. So yeah, I just was kind of like, you know what? This is what I like. And the Sci-Fi Channel was doing a feature, it was like a weekly highlight where they were showing old animes, and that was my introduction into anime. They showed Vampire Hunter D, and one of my favorite animes is called Venus Wars. It's probably not that well known, but it's gorgeous. It's really well drawn. The story is awesome. And I mean, there was a couple of other ones that are really vague, but I mean, that was my introduction. I mean, Fist of the North Star, that was such a just insanely bizarre show, but it was charming in its own way. And I guess that's kind of my segue or whatever into really wanting to do this as a career.
How old were you when you saw Fist of the North Star?
I think I was probably like 16 or 17.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like the goal
so it's not too bad.
No, yeah. I mean, we didn't. It's so funny because, like, I mean, I guess I can say this now, but like any kind of like pirated movies or VHS we had, my dad like edited everything. Like, I didn't know like the Rancor scene was like there was that much to the Rancor scene until like we like actually bought it on VHS. I was like, whoa, we edited that out, So yeah, I mean, like the gore on that cartoon was like shocking, but it was like so over the top that it was basically kind of comical. It was, I mean, I feel like it was almost like that Tarantino violence where it was like so over the top that it was just comical almost,
Yeah,
no, I agree.
Question: what about video games? Were you into video games? Did you pass on those?
So I can remember Christmas morning getting a Sega Genesis. And
oh, nice.
Like I went from the Sega Genesis I went from the NES to the Sega Genesis, and I can remember playing Sonic and thinking like how the handles were so like ridiculously big. And but I remember really getting into video gaming when GoldenEye came out, and my friend's little brother, who was 12 at the time, was just like mopping the floor with us, and I was just like, this is unacceptable. And so I started getting really good at first-person shooters at that point, and then segued into Halo. I still love Halo. I'll still play Reach probably every like at least once a month. I'll just pop the game in and play a couple of levels because it's so fun. It's such a great story, fun gameplay. I like Assassin's Creed. I just finished playing or beating Bahalo. So yeah, I still love video games as well. Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably one of the greatest video games ever made, and it feels like a cinematic experience. So if anyone's 100%. On the fence, I highly recommend that.
All right, Matt, what do you think, man? I think he passes. What about you?
Yeah, it's pretty good references. I'd say yeah.
Yeah, I think we check out. I think we can proceed. We're gonna call off the snipers from outside because little did you know we had somebody set up, to take you out.
We'll call off the anime hit squad.
There you go.
Cancel. But yeah, so I had a couple questions. Maybe you could help us out. So you
Sure.
have a Kickstarter coming up, right? And when is that
Correct.
Kickstarter going live? Just for those of listeners that may not know.
So we're gonna launch the Kickstarter on March 5th. It's gonna be for our quote unquote 6-inch action figure line. We say it's a 6-inch, but it's basically the same size as Thundercat Ultimates, Masters of the Universe Classics. So it'll pair very nicely with those. If you go onto our Instagram stories, I need to update the highlights, but I posted some scale references to kind of show next to Chewbacca and I think it was the G.I. Joe Classified Cobra
Some
Trooper.
Motu figures.
You can see the range of like how they could potentially fit into your collection. It's an adventure toy line, so it's kind of meant to marry nicely with He-Man and Thundercats and Mythic Legions. But they could totally work as aliens for your Star Wars, or like DC has gorillas and
Just showing off your story,
yeah. So yeah, I mean they're their own thing, and we have a comic book and everything, but they're also designed and meant to look good with your other collection when they're on the toy shelf. Hopefully they'll be being played with more than displayed, but that's the general idea.
I just gotta say,
go
ahead. You go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna say, that just the amount of detail that is going into your 6-inch line is amazing, and it's like because I wanted to kickstart the original 3.75-inch line, but I'm like mainly a 112 collector, so when I saw the figures, I was impressed, but at the same time, I wasn't willing to jump into a 3.75-inch line at the time. When I found out that you guys are going to be doing the Kickstarter for the 6-inch figures, that really caught my attention, and I see these guys working well with multiple different figure lines too. So just the amount of detail and stuff, I don't think it's going to focus on it very well, but just the amount of detail on this one, it's just crazy. The paint apps,
Power Rangers, even. I don't know if you
great.
mentioned Power Rangers, but totally some like monsters for Power Rangers.
Yeah, anything.
So when I did the toy line, I made the comic book first. I basically tried to do like feasible baby step type of things. And whenever it was time to kind of tackle a toy line, I was really penny pinching. So it was like, I love that 3 3/4 scale. I grew up with it. It kind of made sense. And, we're steaming, trucking along with that. And I was all set to do Toy Fair in October in Dallas for last year for 2020, and they called and canceled it because of COVID. And I mean, to tell you the truth, like during that lockdown period, I had basically started collecting a lot of 6-inch figures, and it was in the back of my mind, like where like I was like, okay, I like 6-inch just as much in 3 3/4, and when do I do this, and how do I do this, and should I do this? And when they called to cancel and postpone until next year, I was like, okay, there's my sign. So I basically just like went right to work on it. I didn't tell anyone until we had like the first pail, which is the main character to kind of show off. And then from there, I just kind of was working on it behind the scenes. And once I got closer to the launch date, decided to start like showing a sneak peek once a week, just to kind of build awareness and excitement for the launch.
I do gotta say, just because like me and Matt, we do toy photography, the podcast, everything like that. We interact a lot with different fans, listeners, different pages, and there's a lot of talk about your line. I just gotta say, especially with them switching over into 6-inch. Yeah, it's you've been on Toy Migos. Everybody's talking about it, man. It's honestly the talk of the community right now. Kickstarters are big,
super flattering,
especially
and
one like this.
Makes me feel good. What's that? I'm sorry.
I said, well, Kickstarters are big, and especially one like this.
Yeah. Now I will say, like, that toy photography I had nothing to do with. I mean, I put the toys there and put the accessories and stuff, but two of my friends are professional photographers, and I mean, this is what I know about photography. Like, you you focus something and you press a button and then like it turns into an image, and like watching them work. And like I didn't realize that like photos were composites of a bunch of different lighting, and like it was interesting. Like they were almost like talking their own language, and I was like, man, this is wild. And kind of like I look into the viewfinder and they're like, you want to see like one image of what it's gonna turn out to be, and I was like, that one looks awesome. Like I don't understand why it's gonna be a bunch of them, you know. But then seeing the final product, I was just like, wow, okay, that's freaking cool. And we have a bunch of other stuff that I haven't shown yet. I mean, I know a lot of people think it looks cool in the front, but they're going to want to know what it looks like from behind. So we have like videos of turnarounds and, you know, figures that we haven't revealed, obviously, but we have stretch goal figures and more headsets and or head packs and armor accessories and
Do you want to
stuff
talk
like
about
that.
that now? Because that was actually one of my questions. Was stretch goals and
Yeah.
things like that. Could you reveal any of that? If it's okay for you to talk about it. If not, I get it.
So I won't give away like too many details, but I will say that like the day one when we launch, you'll be able to see two of the stretch goals, and I'll tell you what they are. I mean, I won't tell you exactly what they are, but one of them will be a headset or a head pack, whatever you want to call it, that will complement the existing figures that are in, you know, the initial stretch goal. And then the next thing will be a really badass looking figure for, I'll call it wave 2, because it's all going to be delivered at the same time, but it's basically, you know, it's going to be another assortment. So and then we'll basically kind of, we're not going to say what we're doing, but you'll see like a pattern emerge of as we reveal. You'll be like, okay, so he did the headset, so next we'll see a weapon set or a figure next, you know. So throughout the campaign you'll say, oh, okay, we hit that figure, I know we're going to get this they're going to offer a headset that's going to complement that figure next. And that's kind of the general idea. I mean, our stretch goals, the way I kind of thought about it was, yeah, we want to have new characters, but we want to pack in extra value to the characters you're already, you know, unlocked and backing. So throughout the campaign, there'll be those kind of stretch goals that are a fun brand new figure, and then other ones that are going to be something that kind of jazzes up your current selection, or that you can modify it, you know.
No, that's really cool, especially since you know, these are unique characters that you've created. There's so much stuff that's like the possibilities are open endlessly. You could just, you know, oh, here's a cool new battle armor piece for them. Oh, here's another piece for that armor set or something like that. You know, like
Yeah. And I'm
because
glad you mentioned.
I was gonna say because your main character evolves and like kind
Right,
of takes from
exactly.
other people.
Right, and you know we're rebooting the comic series, so I'm trying to figure out exactly when I want to do this, but throughout the campaign we're going to be giving away the first 8 pages of issue 1. So
Okay.
I don't know if I want to do it day 1 or maybe into the first week, just to kind of give people a little bit of a tidbit of what they're going to be getting as far as like story goes, and like the relationship between, you know, characters in wave 1. So
And that comic is called.
it's going to be the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom issue 1.
Okay.
It's part 1 of a 5-issue story arc called Blood Brothers. So you'll kind of get like a little introduction to several of the characters that are in wave 1.
Nice. Okay.
So does that mean the volume 1 is going to go out the window or no?
You
The
know,
Rise of the Ape King.
it's something that it's kind of a hard question, because I like the way like the Marvel multiverse works, and in DC multiverse, where they've got like different alternate realities and whatnot. And what we're doing now is basically kind of a 3-pronged approach, where this is going to be like a fresh start. There's going to be similar themes and whatnot, but it's going to be slightly different. But we're going to have a toy line, a comic book, and we'd like to pitch a cartoon as well, that are kind of all on the same page, so everything's, you know, dovetails and looks the same and matches up as far as story goes, and the visuals as well.
That's one thing I was actually going to tell you is like, man, like, because I read volume 1. I read volume 1 recently. I just finished actually yesterday.
Okay.
It would be perfect for like an anime or a cartoon or something like that. It would be awesome. I would totally like watch it on a streaming service or
That was the
wherever
first
it was,
comic book I
you
ever
know.
drew.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was sitting on the couch watching TV or something. I think I might have been even playing a video game, and I was like, man, I want to do something. Like, I need to do something creative. And I mean, I was a graphic designer at the time, and I was like, man, what about a comic book? And then while I was designing the comic book, uh, you know, I loved Master of the Universe and He-Man growing up, and I kind of thought. Also, Watchmen had just come out, and there was a lot of talk about how the characters were very kind of simplistic as far as like their color schemes and the detail and stuff. And I thought, well, if I'm going to draw a comic book, I don't want to be drawing, you know, Spider-Man for like, you know, 22 pages or whatever it was. I mean, that's such a hard character to draw over and over and over again. And I wanted to kind of take it easy my first go round, you know? So, yeah, that was my first comic book that I had ever done.
Well, man, it looks really good for a first comic book, and I really like the art style and the story. So, I mean, I can't wait to see what you do with the reboot then.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
should. I'm
for
very
sure.
proud of it. We have a fantastic artist named Utoma, who did an amazing job on the illustration, and I did the story and the coloring on it. So it should be pretty cool. I'm excited about it.
Now, when did you originally write the first comic? How long ago?
I think I started in 2011. It
Oh,
was
wow.
one of those things where like it wasn't ever. You know how like you start like a model train or like a plane or something, and you're like, I'm never gonna finish this. It's just something to fiddle with.
Yeah.
And that's basically how the first issue came about, where I was just kind of fiddling around and you know, just having fun. And then I finished it and I was like, oh, whoa, I finished that. That's weird. That was weird. And then I just kind of planned out the other issues and just went from there, you know.
All right. Did you, when you started the comic book, did you have an idea of the toy line, or was that an afterthought?
I designed all the characters with making toys in mind. And I had, you know, I never thought it might become a reality, but I was like, if it is a reality, it would be nice to not have to like try to figure it out from the ground up again. And I mean, at the time there wasn't Instagram, or I think there was Facebook, but you know, most of the people were on DeviantArt. So I found a bunch of amazingly talented artists on there. And it's funny because like now they work for like giant studios, like, and do amazing work. And we've been friends for almost 10 years now. It's crazy.
Nice. What made you want to do a toy line? Was that the reason for doing the comic, or?
No, well, what made me want to do a toy line, I think, was when G.I. Joe Retaliation came out. The studio decided to postpone the movie for a full year because they wanted it in 3D. No one gives a crap about 3D. It's a stupid, trashy gimmick. No one gives a crap about it. So that being said, that stupid thing killed that toy line. Like, retail wouldn't touch it for 7 years. So that was like the main thing that I collected. And so it kind of left this weird gap in my fun hobby collecting, and it just kind of started turning gears in my head at that point, and that's basically where it came from. Now 3D animation is awesome. I love that, but like gimmicky 3D, I don't want to curse, but it's not worth destroying like a legendary toy line over.
Yeah, no. The only time 3Ds worked for me was on the Doctor Strange movie, and that was about it. That was the coolest 3D experience I ever had.
The only reason why like Avatar was like the highest grossing movie ever, because it was new technology that was implemented, and it's like everybody's like, "Oh my god, I gotta go watch it."
Yeah, I thought Coraline
Not even a good movie.
And Avatar were amazing. Coraline, Avatar, awesome. I mean, it's probably because I'm like blind as a bat, but it gives me vertigo, so it's not something that I'm like, oh boy, let's go vomit, you know?
No, I feel you. Sometimes it makes your eyes hurt or gives you like a headache too, so that's like not a good side effect.
So I had a question about the toys.
What's that?
So I had a question about the toys here.
Sure.
So I see, where's the love for the female figures? I gotta ask.
Yeah, you know, the comic has awesome female characters, and like, You know, I kind of think of them
is
as
it Mala? Mila? How do
Mala.
you pronounce that?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Okay.
she's probably one of the most powerful characters in the comic book. But you know, the
She
reality
is.
is that, I mean, like, I hate to say it, but like, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I go to my local toy stores, like, I can remember, oh, what's the girl from Rogue One? Oh, what's her name? Jyn Erso, who I
Oh
Oscar.
love.
yeah, yeah. I was like, hold on, it's on the tip of my tongue. Yes, Jyn Erso.
Yeah, her and the Hornet from Marvel Legends were like crazy peg warmers, and I don't necessarily know if it's because those were overproduced or if they weren't sought after. So like whenever you make like a toy line that's geared for, like, you know, little boys and older guys, you know, it's a risk to do a female figure right out the gate. So what I'd like to do is get you know, 2 waves of the 6-inch figures under our belt before we explore that. Because I mean, believe me, I can't wait to make. Oh, there she is, or he. Wait, hold on, I'm getting my cat too. Show the cats. There we go.
My cat's nowhere to be found. She was tearing up the carpet a minute ago, and now she's gone.
So yeah, like I definitely want to make them, but it's a financial gamble. You're not sure like how the community is going to accept it, and believe me, I can't wait to make Mala. I mean, I love that character. She kicks butt. And the magical elemental stuff would make fantastic accessories. So it's something that I really want to do, but I have to make sure that the funds are there, basically.
So it's not just because of orangutan titties.
No, it's like 60% that.
That's what I was kind of thinking too. Like you're gonna have to come up with some kind of like bras or something to go on those female figures.
Yeah, I mean, they'll, you know, like when, y'all haven't seen what she looks like in the new version, which is actually very close to the old version, but she'll have like a cloth. I mean, like it's not gonna be cloth goods, but it's gonna be a sculpted, you know, clothing torso with man, I can't wait till I'll see her. She looks really cool in the new.
Well, we can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'll probably wind up releasing that. What's that?
I said I had one request for
Sure.
for her.
Orangutan titties.
No. Come on, man. Not at all. The one request is a lot of companies tend to go with single jointed elbows for female figures, and that's honestly like such a missed, or it's just such a letdown every single time.
If you had got in your figures, you would know that.
No, I know, but the thing is, females are different. You know, a lot of people go with the whole entire, feminine. Women characters are more feminine. They're smaller. They're not as big, so go with the single jointed. I'm just saying you don't have to. You could totally not go with my idea, but double jointed elbows. That would be awesome because it's something that a lot of companies aren't doing.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of reasons for that. One of them, like you said, because they're a little bit more petite. But she's gonna have fur on her arms, so like that's gonna add some volume to her arm. But they're also like at a bigger scale. Like a lot of times, a Marvel Legend figure is of like Scarlett Johansson, who's just a smaller person. You know, like I know they did. Who was the villain that was part of Thanos's?
Proxima Midnight.
Yeah, she had a double joint, and I think it was appropriate.
And that was awesome.
She-Hulk, I have She-Hulk.
She was a thick girl.
Yeah,
no,
I think
She-Hulk
I have the great.
Just single jointed.
Is she really? See that? I mean, that should have been a double.
She got really good range,
right up here. Yeah, she does have the range. That is probably the best range for a single jointed elbow.
Yeah.
I'm actually really impressed with how much range you guys got into your 3.75 inch line. So
I think we snuck, what is it, like 90 degrees maybe?
Yeah, I mean you get a good use out of the elbow, plus you get the whole rotation at the elbow too, so that kind of like makes up for not having a bicep swivel. But even your whole torso, your torso ab crunch that you got going on, and the head, I really like what you did with the head, because unlike most figures, you can actually get the head to kind of like go into like an upward pose to where he's like
and there's that little bar
looking up.
Yeah, for the guys guys and ladies that aren't looking, there's a little barbell joint that goes into the head and the neck. To my knowledge, Boss Fight Studios is the first people who did that. I could be wrong. but it's gorgeous and it works
Yeah,
really
double
well. I
ball
don't know
peg is amazing.
what's that?
Because it's
Yeah,
called
it's
the
a
double
double
ball
ball
peg.
peg.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it gives the most range of motion, man. And
yeah.
for you to be implementing that in such a small figure, just a domestic figure, because most domestics don't do that. Usually only import companies, and then that's you're paying 60, 70, 80, $100 for the figure.
Right. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
one big thing with your figure line in the 3.75-inch line is that it seems like most of the armor is swappable.
Yeah, it is swappable, and it's a little loose. But the reason it's loose is because I don't know why it's loose. No, actually, it is a little bit loose, but I've heard a lot of people will just kind of put like a little bit of Elmer's glue on it just to kind of keep it in place. So I mean,
I'm not having issues with it falling off or anything like that. I was just noticing that like it almost has like that Mythic Legion's interchangeability, but easier because it's not, you don't have to like melt the figure to get everything off of it if you don't not want to. But I was wondering if you're going to try to keep that that playability going across to the 6-inch line as well.
It's funny that you mentioned Mythic Legions because Corn Boy's like one of my heroes. Like I remember like privately talking to him, being like, "I'm gonna try not to geek out here, but like you're my hero." And he was just like super humble and awesome guy, and they're legends in the industry, obviously. So that's a huge compliment. Thank you. As far as like the 6-inch line goes, the forearm armor is totally removable, as well as the calf armor. We are
Waist
getting
armor and chest will probably be sculpted.
the chest armor is actually 100% sculpted, unless it's like a naked, bare body like Pale, who's got a removable sash, and we have some other characters that will have removable harnesses that we just haven't revealed yet. The skirting's 100% removable. You will have to pop apart the torso to do that, and I actually haven't got like a fully articulated version in. I'm guessing I'll probably get one in maybe like the end of next week or something. And I have to put it together so I could tell you for sure. But I think it's going to be like a boil and pop type of thing to get that skirt off, which is not like a huge deal. But
No worries.
You just have to work a little bit more to get it off. So
cool. So you are trying to like keep that kind of aspect in the line, then, like being able to outfit characters.
Yeah, and I mean, like the heads are obviously meant to be easily swappable. Hold on just a second. I realized I didn't plug in my phone, and it gave me a little
about to go away on us all of a sudden. About to hang up the call.
I plugged in, and it's all good. It's good.
You're like, oh, what did we say? What did we say that was wrong?
Yes, you died.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited, dude, because just looking at these teaser images of the next figure line, it looks like you guys are going with double jointed elbows for the most part, right?
Yes. So to make this a little bit easier, do any of y'all have any of the classified G.I. Joe figures?
Yep, sure do.
Right here.
So the articulation's almost the same layout. There's some notable differences. I noticed that they have like a swivel calf. We don't have that because, like I had mentioned, that armor on the legs meant to be removable. If you're trying to slide that on and off in the calf as like twisted, it's going to make it a pain in the butt, and you might actually damage the armor trying to do that, or the leg trying to do that. So I opted to just take that out, but we'll have the swivel ball joint neck. There's going to be a ball joint neck that plugs into the torso. We'll have the butterfly shoulders, ball joint shoulders, a swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbows, ab crunch, swivel at the pelvis. I don't know what it's called for like the hip movement, but it's like, your standard hip movement, thigh cuts, double jointed knees, and ankle swivel or ankle rockers.
Nice. So you will be adding the thigh cuts in there?
Yes, they are in there. Perfect. It's impossible to see in those pictures.
Well, because when you said no calf swivel, I was a little concerned, but as long as you have the thigh swivel in there, then yeah, we're all good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we have to have one or the other. I mean,
I prefer the upper thigh swivel as opposed to the
Yeah, you'll
capsule.
never. I mean, unless you strip them down, almost nude, you're not going to see that cut anyway. They've all got those battle armored skirting.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, dude. They look really good. I'm really impressed with your 6-inch line. Just the look of it. I can't wait to get it in hand. And the reason I bought the 3.75 inch just to get kind of a sneak peek of what I'm going to get. And it looks like you've taken some serious consideration into your 6-inch line, and you've changed up some of the stuff and made some big improvements. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm always trying to improve, and I felt like for the 6-inch line, I had a long time to really pour in all the details that we wanted to do in it, and really pack in as much quality and I'm losing my train of thought. We wanted it to feel special and something that's like a collectible that you're not afraid to play with. And whenever I was choosing all the characters for Wave 1, I really wanted someone who was only going to get one figure to try out to really have a hard time picking that one figure. And I think once we reveal the last figure, which I think anyone that's followed the line knows who the next figure's reveal is going to be. But I think once we reveal that, people are really going to be, having a hard time trying to figure out just one character or just one figure to pick.
Can I take a guess and you can tell me yes or no?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go ahead.
Thane?
It's not Thane. I will say that
I was thinking of Treyu.
Treyu's, we already showed
him. Yeah, he's already
we showed him.
Well, nailed that one on the head, huh?
So yeah, you mentioned Thane. Thane's going to be our big, giant stretch goal figure. It's going to be a Build-A-Figure that's it's not going to be any extra cost to
make it happen, guys.
the people backing it.
Hell yeah!
You know what? I feel like we have a really good chance of getting that figure unlocked, and the backers aren't going to pay any extra money for it. It's just going to be included in Wave 1. So
nice.
If you get one of each figure from Wave 1, you get your Thane figure at no additional cost. So it's exciting, and try not to pee my pants with excitement.
Can't beat that, man, dude. That sounds awesome.
Got a question. Could you reveal what the price point is looking like for the figures?
Yeah. So if you want to get just one figure, they'll retail for $33. But if you get three or more, that
price.
Yeah, you know what? The reason, my reasoning behind that was, we don't have as many accessories. We're not going to have multiple hands that are included, and we're taking out that alternate head. But you can kind of have your cake and eat it too, because we're going to be offering that with add-on packs later on. But yeah, so one figure is $33. If you get three or more, that price drops down to $30, just to kind of like encourage people for the Kickstarter to go ahead and get all their goodies while it's a little bit more cheap.
Encourage you to buy the whole wave.
Yeah, treat yourself. Why? You only live once. Just get what you want. Don't wait and buy it on the secondary market and pay twice that amount. Just get it now, and don't kick yourself later on.
Yep.
Yeah,
True words never been spoken.
I'm all in 100%. And Matt, I think you said the same thing, right? Like you're all in.
Yeah, dude. Just because they're so unique. Like there's nothing else out there like that, and it's surprising because it's such a simple concept. Like Animal Warriors. Come on. Like, you've seen the Thundercats. The Mythic Legions has, those the bird warrior things and stuff like that. But like, there's nothing out there readily available, and this is just going to fill that gap. And the figures are, brand new, and they're not iconic enough yet to where they can only be in one realm. So therefore, you can use them anywhere you want. So I like the versatility,
man. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I can't remember the last time that I went to the toy store and found a new IP that I could get like really excited about that hasn't been around for like 20 plus years. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love Star Wars, and like I collect Star Wars and Mythic Legions and Halo, and I collect all that stuff. But one of the things, or one of my missions of this toy line and the comic line, is for people to remember the joy of discovering something new that they can, share with their friends. And also, I mean, I have a child, and it's so fun to see her get excited about collecting stuff like Piggy and Roblox and stuff like that. That's new for her. So I think that sharing a hobby with your kids can be like a total another aspect of collecting this toy line.
100%.
One last quick question I had. I like the way you have the boxing for your 3.75-inch line. It's very similar to the Mythic Legions card backing, where you can remove the outer shell and still keep the packaging if you choose to. Are you going to try to keep that model with the next line?
For the 6-inch line, they're not going to be like that. Our deluxe figures, which are the 5-inch scale, or the 5-inch tall 3 3/4 inch, they're going to still have that. The 6-inch scale figures are meant to be very retail friendly. And if that's at like a store that, a kid can go and be like, I want to open this up. And, and then you got the figure swappers and all that type of stuff. And that's kind of one of the things that really made me decide, like, okay, this needs to be set up for like, a potential mass market retail setting. And so if you like the way the current McFarlane boxes and Marvel Legend boxes are, it's very similar to that.
Okay, yeah, so more of a streamlined packaging.
Right, yeah. I'll show it off.
That's smart, though, honestly. Especially if you're going to try to get into retail stores, because they're going to want something that's not, easily stolen.
Exactly, yeah. And I designed the packaging, and it looks awesome, but I need one of my buddies to kind of turn that flat thing into like a 3D render that makes sense for, everyone else that's not used to designing on a template. It's kind of hard to visualize that. I get it, but I don't want anyone to have to like stretch and be like, oh, I wonder what it looks like. They'll just see and say, cool, that's what it's going to look like.
Nice. Very transparent.
I don't think we have too many more questions. There are like one or two more that I had. Was there any chance of getting some interchangeable parts or possibly like a phasing pail? Because one of his abilities is invisibility.
Maybe
like a translucent pail or something.
Yeah, it probably, if we did do something like that, and believe me, I love glow in the dark figures, it would probably have like a slight frost to it, because I think a lot of people know that there are QT issues with like totally crystal clear figures. So it would probably not be completely translucent, but it would be like it would have like that kind of phasing ghost effect. But I haven't decided yet, to tell you the truth.
That's a really dope idea, actually.
Some kind of cool, like for a Kickstarter, like more incentive, like as a Kickstarter exclusive, like, hey, more reason, to go in on the Kickstarter rather than waiting till secondary market. Some type of Kickstarter exclusive figure. I don't know if you guys have thought about that or but just just an idea.
I think it's a cool idea, and I'm probably gonna steal it, but I'm not.
Go, but I'm not gonna credit you.
Go for it. go for it. I don't have a problem with it. Just something that I was thinking of, like when I was reading Volume 1, I was like, what would be awesome? And like what kept on coming back, I was like, you know what? Like if there was some type of figure that showcases abilities, that would be amazing. Just because it would be dynamic. Again, just to harp back on the toy photography aspect, something that could be used in the photography on our part.
Yeah, totally. Like, and I don't know how y'all pull off glow in the dark stuff. That's got to be a challenge to get to come across on camera.
A lot of trial and error. A lot of trial and error.
I'm guessing you'd hit it with like a black light or something, right, to get it to kind of glow or get.
You probably have to activate it that way it stays lit for a minute. The problem with that is trying to shoot too dark of shots.
Yeah. So Carl, our buddy Carl, he's done some stuff with glow in the dark stuff, and that's what he did. He actually hit it really intensely with some black light, and then he threw it in like a kind of darker area, and then took it, and then he just adjusted the lighting a little bit in post edit, but he was able to pull it off.
Okay.
I can see light painting working really well too if you use light painting to kind of illuminate the figure in between shots, so that could
I
work.
have no idea what y'all talking about.
It's
photography jargon.
it's pretty advanced
Photography
technique, but it's pretty hard to pull off. But
jargon.
our buddy does a pretty good job of doing it.
That
It
that was
sounds
the
cool.
last. That was like the last, kind of question that we had about the Kickstarter and whatnot.
I actually had a question
Go ahead.
because I know there's probably a lot of people out there who have similar ideas or something they think they can bring to the market. How did you figure out a business plan? Like, because you said you went from like being a digital creator and just randomly had this idea. Like, how were you able to bring it to market? What, like, was it a struggle trying to find money to fund the idea, or was Kickstarter made it kind of like an easy rollout for you?
I'm not gonna lie. My business partner is a CPA and takes care of all that type of stuff. I mean, I know how much like tooling cost, and we have like quarterly meetings where we're like, okay, this is our profit and cost margins and stuff like that. And I try to like focus as much as I can, but like it's with the understanding that like he understands that I would have like this layman's understanding of that type of stuff. My focus is more understanding the market and finding out what stuff's popular and continuing to make that. I don't think that was very helpful, but
no, I mean I get what
mean.
you're saying though. You let your buddy take care of kind of like the financial aspect, and you can focus on the creative side of the business.
That's basically it. I mean, I am aware of like what stuff costs, and like whenever stuff's expensive, I kind of like balk at it, and I'm like, why is that so expensive? And
too many zeros.
And kind of go over type stuff, and what we kind of figure out like, hey, we have a little extra money. Do you want to invest in this and that? But I mean, it's very much not in my wheelhouse, to be honest.
I guess maybe more so my question is, how did you get started in it? Like what gave you that drive to actually go out and make those figures?
I think whenever the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line came out, the initial release was really cool, but they also had these ones that you could pop apart. Man, the cat's biting me. I don't know what the deal is.
He's really hungry.
She's like purring and biting me at the same time. I don't understand. Like she's like right under my feet, purring and biting me.
She's all feety.
My little girl was like into the ones that could pop apart really easily, and I thought to myself, that doesn't seem like a very hard. Cut it out. Jesus, can y'all hear that?
Oh no! Yeah.
It's going crazy.
Like holy cow! I'm sorry.
Holy cat.
Yeah, really. I mean, like, so those were like, they were technically 5 points of articulation, but not really. They were like, they had like little ball pegs that like everything popped in, and I thought, man, that's really simple, and probably wouldn't take more than a couple of tooling mold plates. And at the time, I had kind of like a layman's understanding, like a what's that show? How It's Made understanding of like what goes into toy making. And so like we kind of did that with some static, statue versions of Pale and Kali. And I mean, that obviously never got made, but then like Boss Fight got like really big. And that was like my inspiration for like trying to infuse like really nice detail and articulation into like that size figure. So I guess that's where it all kind of took off.
And honestly, you guys pulled it off really good with these 3.75-inch figures. It's been a while, like I said, since I collected anything. The last 4-inch or under line I collected would have to be Acid Rain.
Oh, and, man, gorgeous figures.
For these to like kind of pique my interest as much as Acid Rain, that there's something really unique here, because
that's a huge compliment. Thank you.
Because Acid Rain is like a designer line almost when it comes to 1/18 toys.
It's very much a designer toy. I think I probably have 5 or 6 of them. But it's one of those things where like I pose it and play it and play with them just a little bit and enjoy the artistry that is the toy line. And then I put them on the shelf because I am a little nervous about falling off or breaking them. It's not that there's a quality control issue. It's that there's like a price point issue and a scarcity issue. It's like if that part breaks, like the Bob figure that I have, I'm like, I would like to have 3 of those, but like they've been sold out for a long time, and the aftermarket price is
100 something each, probably.
right.
Like
Not that they're not worth it, but
triple retail.
What's that?
Yeah.
I said like triple retail, quadruple.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
because they started out expensive though. They're like $35, $40 figures to start.
Yeah.
And that's why I really enjoy the price point you just told us for your 6-inch line.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's going to be very successful because as a Kickstarter,
have these, it's one of those things where am I going to make a giant profit off of wave 1? Probably not. But the point of the Kickstarter is to fund that tooling mold so that we can continue to make those figures and just kind of sail on into wave 2.
get everything out there into your hands.
And we'll be
make
able
you
to
want more.
with big unit orders, that'll drive the cost for us down, and we're, our intent is to pass that on to our customers and fans,
Or just take that money and give us some extra hands and heads.
I mean,
keep charging the same price because we're fine with that too. Honestly,
I've been looking at the new Bronco, and like I really want that new Bronco. So that was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I don't even know if they have. It's like a weird segue, but like it seemed like they were like the new Bronco, and like it was like 3 years before they actually finally, came out with an actual production version of it. But yeah, I mean, so if you look at the figures that we showed so far, there's already 3 different sets. Well, I haven't shown, but there's 3 different sets of hands already right out the gate.
Oh, nice.
2 different feet right out the gate, and then your headsets. Obviously, there's 6 headsets right away. So
is there in the add-on packs?
I haven't decided yet. Honestly, I'd like to have some different posed hands as opposed to just re-offering like the C. I'm trying to get can y'all see this? I'm trying to offer, other poses besides the C grip.
Yeah. Like a relaxed hand and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, that's the kind of idea. Yeah, like just a total clinch fist, So that's the kind of stuff I want to offer as add-on packs.
Okay, so the base figure you're planning to come with how many sets of hands?
It just comes with 1 set of hands.
Okay.
The set that's put on it. That C grip comes with 1 head. Some of the figures have removable helmets, and they each come with 3 accessories. So some figures will have like 2 bladed weapons and a shield, or 2, a spear, a knife, and a shield.
No, totally.
And what's fun about the shield is they are left and right-handed. If you want, they'll have like a little plug-in where you can take the handle out and swap it around. You obviously can't see it in the photos that we've shown, but that's built into the design. So
nice. Okay, because like when you first told us the 33 price point, and then you're like, but it's going to come pretty stripped down. But like that's a good amount of stuff for a $33 figure,
I mean,
especially from Kickstarter.
Right, exactly. I mean, you're going to feel like you're getting, a quality item. It's not like something that's a bare bones type of figure.
And then with the add-on packs, it just makes each figure worth that much more. If one figure could be converted to another figure, 2 figures in 1, double the price.
Exactly. Especially like for the army builder figures, the first figure that we're offering is it's got a head that will complement a Treyu, and then a head for the Chernari Legionary, and the Horde Ravengers. So just there, if you have those 2 heads on those army builders, and then some have the helmet and some don't have the helmet, you've got like a 3 variant right there, right off the bat.
I can already tell you, I'm going to have an army of Horde headhunters.
You know what? I think that's probably the best way to go. You can't have enough of cannon fodder, right?
Yeah, well, man, they're going to be tearing everybody up, actually. I'm going to have them tearing everybody up.
Okay, that's fine with me. In the comic book, they're very much like locusts, where like, I mean, they're just like rabid beasts that like just kind of just overwhelm in numbers and just decimate everything. I mean, so yeah, they're forced to be reckoned with. I am so glad the cat has stopped scratching me. I don't even know.
I was gonna say, I think we need to let Jason go so he could feed his cat.
Right?
If I'm freaking crazy.
Stop talking. Feed me. Stop talking. Feed me.
But I'm really excited to see the reboot of the comic, and I'm really excited to see these Kickstarter reveals. I can't wait till it starts. So March 5th, you guys.
March 5th,
calendars.
Friday.
March 5th. And just to recap, we got Pale, Tiberius, the Chunari Army Builder, the Ravager Army Builder, and Atreyu. Correct?
Correct. And we have one more
we're gonna
reveal.
go 6. Yes. Kali?
Yeah. It's Kali. Yeah. And
yeah,
when
knew
y'all
it.
see
Okay. Once he said no to Thane, I was like, okay, then yeah.
It's a numbers game. But yeah, I mean, guys, when y'all see him, he is
so many main characters.
Awesome. Holy cow, that figure was so fun to paint. I think it took me like 3 days to paint just because of like a lot of detail on it. And I don't know if y'all painted figures, but it's a lot of like fine, like thin layers, you know.
Waiting for everything to dry.
Yeah.
We've customized before.
Customizing Gil actually is pretty good at it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cool
deal.
deal.
Yeah.
Well, I'm too scared to tear open an $80 figure and go to town on it. So I mean, you got some balls for that.
It's one of those things. I think a lot of people are scared to practice on like cheaper figures, and I'm like, listen, take the stress out of it and like try, you know, a figure that you don't care about at all. You know, kind of get your feet wet with that. You know.
Yeah,
that's how I started. I got like a $7 Marvel Legend. I got the Marvel Legend from like Ross or something like that for $7.
Misty Knight.
Practice with that. Yeah. No, it was actually a nuke. A nuke. I found
the Misty Knight with wonky eye.
That's funny. So I think that takes care of all the questions, right, Matt?
Yeah, I mean that's all I got for him. Yeah, I mean I'm just excited to see what's coming. That's all.
100%, man. Jason,
and I'm excited to take some pictures with these 3.75 inch ones.
You guys do with them. You know, it's one of those weird, surreal moments when you're like scrolling through your Instagram discovery feed and you see your own figures and you're like, oh, whoa, that's cool. Oh, that's my figure. That's weird. So it's always flattering. It's really cool. What's that?
I said I got a picture I'm gonna work on as soon as I get the figure.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's super flattering, exciting to see it. I will say this one thing that like seeing other people photograph my figures, I realized that I don't know how to pose figures, and I thought I did. It was like I was like, oh wow, I am really bad at this. Holy cow! So
don't worry, I've been doing it for years, and sometimes I'm like, that's not a good pose. What are you doing?
It's a skill set in its own.
A little bit of one. Just gonna practice anatomy and reference, pictures and comics and whatnot, and you'll get it down. That's all. So thank you so much for stopping by. Can you please let the listeners and viewers know where they can follow you at and keep up to date with the Kickstarter?
Well, guys, it's been my pleasure. I've had a great time. If you want to have like a more informal kind of like making of and sneak peek process, you can follow me at my Instagram, which is @Sperotoys. You can also go to our website anytime you want, which is www. Why am I saying that? You don't have to do that. You can just go to Sperotoys.com and you'll see our current catalog. And you can also find us on Facebook at Animal Warriors of the Kingdom as well. So
and check out Sperotoys on Instagram if you didn't already say that.
Yes. So I had a great time, guys, and I'd actually like to come back on during the Kickstarter itself. Maybe we could kind of talk about some
definitely
unlocks and whatnot, you know. So
will the new comic book be available soon?
I'm gonna give away the first 8 pages during the campaign, but I don't want to make the full thing available because it's gonna be a smaller Kickstarter reward. We'll have a digital version and a physical version, and we're also gonna have the making of toy line. We're gonna have the making of this toy line. My best friend David Legnon is designing that book. And we're both big fans of movie art concept books. So if you like that type of stuff, that'll be right up your alley. From what I've seen, it looks gorgeous. And I was like, man, I want that.
Hey, Jason, could I just give you like a direct deposit or like a percentage of my paycheck or something like that? Because you're going to get all my money, man. You're going to get all
just go to Kickstarter and start adding onto your package.
Yeah. Joe, I'm going to end up getting everything, man.
You
That's,
know,
that's awesome.
just before I leave, one of the advantages of the COVID lockdown allowed me to do like a lot of, real thinking about what I want to put into this 6-inch line, and how can we infuse as much value into this going right out the gate. So I really appreciate it. I'm just a regular guy, and getting this kind of a positive response is super flattering, makes me feel great. So I can't wait to bring this amazing toy line to you guys.
I'm glad you brought it to 6-inch, man. Honestly, I'm really glad you decided to make that scale change. So I know you probably were doing pretty good at 3.75 inch, but I think you're gonna find some really big success in the 6-inch range, bro. Honestly.
Well, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And next time I come on, you have to wear glasses because we're both wearing glasses. And
I'll still my daughters.
Get some readers.
There you go.
They can be fake. They can be fake glasses, but you have to wear glasses the next time we come.
Just the
usually
frames.
right here, but she's probably using them.
All right, guys. I had a great time. I guess I'll talk to you midway through the campaign, and we'll be excited about whatever stretch goal we're about to unlock.
Thanks for giving us your time.
Absolutely. Y'all take it easy.
All right, man. Have a great day.
Take it easy. Bye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. You want to sign us out, Gil?
Yeah. Oh, he jumped off. And until next time, make sure to say geeked up and geek out.
Peace.
What do you think?